Hey Sagittarius, this is your general tarot reading for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon or Ascendant or Rising sign for the month of May. Sagittarius, let's do as we always do. We're going to shuffle the cards and wait on all the right ones to come out for you, my love. And in the meantime, let's talk about some of the energies that you may feel throughout the month. And there's your first card that hopped out there. We're going to hop them back down onto the table until we have another few cards and then we'll read. So, let's talk about those energies. We're leaving behind April, still feeling the effect. Still feeling, we'll put him down, still feeling the effect of the full moon that happened in Libra, and that happened in your 11th house. And it could have meant for you, Sagittarius, that there was a group, big group, small group of people, maybe working together, doing something together, organizing something together, that you had to give your full focus and attention to. It could have been groups on social media, on the internet, or groups of friends. But I strongly feel that it's more like groups of people that are associated with the work that you do. They needed your full attention, full on. And it was a bit of pressure and a bit of stress. Maybe dealing with groups of people in a health or fitness situation, I don't know. But either way, the worst part of the stress of that is over. We had a full moon in Libra in both March and April, in my brain. And it also tells me that for some of you, it could have marked a period of saying goodbye to some friends or a team in work or just a bunch of people. It's like, bye. I'm not entirely sure that I want to see you again. Yeah, for some of you, there could have been a big scissors coming out and just cutting a little bit of cord between you and groups of people or some people or friends. So the pressure's off there anyway. I do get the feeling though there's a thing of I helped you, it's done, goodbye. So it's a bit like that. But I was going to say something else there too. For some of you, you could have been very focused on designing a website, doing something with technology, with some software, computer software, any of the sciences also could have brought you a bit of pressure, but you figured it out. So it's all good. Now, Taurus season for you means that there's a lot going on in your 6th house. We have the Sun in Taurus. On May 4th, there's a new moon in Taurus. May 4th, what's that? May the 4th be with you. Is that how you say it? May the 4th be with you? No, it's stupid. Anyway, new moon in Taurus, 6th house. So may the 4th be with you in opening up in a new career and a new health regime too. 6th house is very much where we can get very judgy and critical, where we can put both hands on the hips and say, I declare this to be bullshit, I declare this to be healthy behavior, I declare this to be unhealthy behavior, I declare this person is toxic, I declare this person is pure as the driven snow. So this is the energy of separating things, categorizing things, putting people and situations into their proper boxes. So there's the energy of that. And it's interesting because with your ruler Jupiter going retrograde in Sagittarius, there's a lot of self-questioning going on. So for me this month is a moment where you say, you know, I'm Sagittarius. I may be half horse, half beast, half human, but I need to figure out how to organize the half beast part of me. When does that come out to play? When can it run free over the plains and the savannas? When can that fly unfettered? And when can the human, civilized, organized, logical part of me come out to play? So there's a whole lot of balance between the wild you and the very organized, streamlined, I see things in a very logical fashion you. So a lot of that self-questioning could trigger this, right? But in other cases too, it's just a whole lot of vibe going into cleaning up your health, cleaning up your diet. Again, sorting out, is this food good for me or is it not? Is this exercise regime good for me? Or do I prefer sitting on the couch eating chips? I don't know. So it's just sorting things out. Yes, you'll have your sorting hat kind of doing its work this month. So But certainly for some of you, organising a new way to do your work. It could be that you move into a different part of your workspace, like move from office to office, move from grade to grade, sector to sector, or certainly upgrade the tools that you use in work. You might need to get a new computer. You might need to get new phones, laptops, tools of the trade. So you might need that. But it's also a lot to do with time management. This is a month where you are going to be super efficient, very organised. I have a time for this in my life and I have a time for that, and I have no time for that at all. Must write that into my diary. No time for that bullshit, right? So there's a lot of that. Now, May 6th, Mercury goes into Taurus. So again, the mind, the intelligent part of you, Sagittarius, is going to be figuring out a lot of stuff, but also it might be figuring out where there is a little bit of shadiness coming from certain people. Sixth house sometimes is where behind closed doors people are behaving badly. Now, it may not be directed at you, but because you have this good ability to discern behaviours this month, you might be saying, that person is all sweetness, sugar and light every time I meet them, but I know when they close that door, they're a demon or that they're a real pain in the ass. I'm not falling for that trick, you know. But with Venus on May 15th moving into Taurus, into the 6th house, you might find that you again flow a little bit better in your work environment. Maybe with some of the toxic bitches that you work with, things might get a little bit better because you're able to sweet talk, and it's not fake, it's not phony. It will be coming from a real genuine place. It's like there will be oil put in the machine, and maybe you and some difficult people in work, you might get on a little bit better. Or at least you'll have the ability to separate their good side from their evil side, and you'll walk up to them and say, which side am I dealing with now? If it's the good side, let's chat. If it's the bad side, I'm off. So it's separation, it's observing behaviours, it's seeing codes of conduct, having personal standards, and certainly using the big chopping block in some cases for people who do not meet your standards, behavioural wise. Yeah. And there might be a moment too this month, Sagittarius, where you say, I'm glad I have this ability to see things kind of in their different spaces, in their different habitats, looking at all those human creatures out there and seeing which ones are wild and which ones are tamed. I'm glad I can see that. But what I'd really love is somebody to narrate this in some way. You know the way you go through life, and I'm sure you've seen that meme, you know, the one that says, I wish I had a soundtrack to my life so at least I could understand what the heck is going on. Well, that soundtrack might be provided by other people this month, because with Mars, who can be very dynamic, energetic, and at times very dramatic, Mars at the start of the month is in Gemini, the communicator, in your 7th house, where other people might show you your own weak spots. They might turn to you and say, look, in your relationship, this is why it's going bad. In your friendships, this is why it's going bad. In your business connections, with your clients, even for those of you who have clients, this is why it's going bad. And being all dramatic, you'll say, what? You know, you remember those old Greek tragedies where in every scene, I'm not saying all of you have watched a Greek tragedy, but you've seen a musical or an opera maybe before, but in every scene there are the chorus, you know, and this month it's a bit like you, going through your life, going through different scenes, and other people will behave like the dramatic chorus. You're walking in and they might be all, you know, oh, beware, there they are, the asshole, they're behind you. And you're saying, okay, thanks for the narration. So it's just a thing where you might find that other people are pointing out certain things in your life. Now, let's not forget, this doesn't always sit well with you, and it doesn't always sit well with Mars. Sometimes Mars will say, I will listen, but at some point you're going to say so much that you'll piss me right off. And then what are you going to use as a soundtrack for that when I turn around and throttle the chorus? So just beware that you don't get too antagonized or inflamed by other people who are pointing out where you're going wrong this month. People love to do that shit, you know. So that's the general focus. May 16th, Mars is moving finally into kind of another emotionally dramatic area, into Cancer, into your 8th house. And your 8th house is also where the North Node for you is, where destiny must be played out. And the 8th house is where we bond with people on a very deep level, where we see people and the support that they give us as being a treasure in our lives. So you might find a lot of energy and enthusiasm going into your tribe, the real people who support you, the real people who are always there for you no matter what. And you go in like the big protector warrior this month and say, you, and you are the tribe that shall now walk with me. Ignore the chorus, they just sing as we go, just pretend they're not there. And so you're really feeling very protected of your tribe this month. Some of them might be going through a bit of a crisis. Maybe your partner, for those of you in a relationship, they might be going through some heavy emotional weird stuff, or a very close friend or family member. And you will become this roaring lioness, the female aspect of the protector, and you could really go in and defend your tribe. Now, 8th house is also very transformative. It is the house of where things are left to die and where they are born again and regenerated, like the phoenix from the flame. So it could be a family situation with whatever's going on with you and your family. It could be with a person or a whole family story, something that's playing out in your family at the moment, and maybe something that affects you deeply on a psychological level. This could, again, it's funny how I mentioned the Greek drama, the Greek things, the Greek play, because it can get quite intense and quite emotional like that around May 16th with Mars going into Cancer, into the 8th house. But whatever is being brought out by some family story or some family drama, it could spark a huge regeneration in you. It could release you finally from some psychological hang-up. Because with Jupiter retrograding, he's digging in there. Jupiter's expanding and expanding. And he will also expand some of the hang-ups from our past. Maybe even from where we grew up, from our hometown. And you might find that destiny steps in this month and triggers a response that will ultimately purge, heal, clean, and transform you in such a beautiful, beautiful way, like the phoenix from the flames. So that is powerful. It will be intense, but it will be magic for you, Sagittarius. May 18th, the full moon in Scorpio, which again further accentuates this transformation. Scorpio is the one who pulls out all the trash. Scorpio is the one who will deal with shit that nobody else would dare to deal with. They are the ones who arrive on the scene of an absolute drama, and they will get stuck in and fix and help and solve and care. So with the full moon in Scorpio in your 12th house, this is again the energy of letting go of some really deep psychological behavioral patterns, psychological traumas, or let go of the fear of transforming. I mean, you could be meeting a real junction point here where you say, it is time for me to move, it is time for me to change, it is time for me to adapt, to let go of, it's time for me to sever, it's time for me to let go of some of these things that are really damaging me. As long as I hold on to this person, this situation, or this memory, it will continue to hold me back. It will just stay stuck and lodged with me like a bitter pill that I can't swallow. And here is the gift, where that bitter pill that you can't swallow will be kind of taken out of you I'm not saying you will swallow it, I'm saying it will disappear. And in a more beautiful, it's in a beautiful sense of being released. I sense the feeling of a tough decision. If I choose that, it will be difficult, and if I choose that, it will also be difficult. Maybe with your work situation or even your health. But it seems by the time the full moon comes, it'll be like I was caught between two ridiculous choices, and the solution was that they weren't my only choices. There was something else. I have to let go of feeling that I'm only trapped within a limited amount of choice here. And then I'll realize that I am actually boundless and free, and I can get rid of a bunch of stuff. And certainly with Taurus season in the 6th house, you can get rid of bad health habits, some bad behaviors, some vices, bad health practices. I'm going with this too, self-diagnosing yourself. Go and get proper diagnosis of something if you need to do that. But release these fears around work and health and psychological health, and make it clean and shiny and sparkly again this month. So it's a huge gift. You have energy with Mars in the 8th house, full moon in Scorpio in the 12th house, Neptune in the 4th house, all very watery, all dealing with deep emotions, all dealing with that beautiful psychic energy that you do very well in, speaking and communicating and feeling out situations from such a primal level. You see, that's why the animal part of you responds very well to these kind of intuitive psychic places. So maybe let that part of you know what needs to go, and let the logical part of you say, okay, you've shown me what needs to go. Now let me put my logic into place to solve this once and for all. It's very deep, but very beautiful. A lot of psychic, intuitive energy, which, like I said, you're very good in. Even though you're half horse, half human, you can swim in any depths of emotional, oceans. I said oceans, I actually couldn't think of a better word there, so you know what I mean. But anyway, on May 21st, Sun goes into Gemini. Yeah, these two, the deep, the high priestess. Yeah. We just had this conversation. You showed up late, but I'm the chorus. I will repeat. Yeah, okay. And then that came out, yes. May 21st, Sun in Gemini in your 7th house. May 21st, Mercury in Gemini in the 7th house. So really say the last week of the month, you're really feeling that you've a better understanding of other people around you. And maybe the chorus helped you, but you understand their behavior. It's like, I see what category to put them in, and it makes me actually get on better with them. They don't confuse me anymore. Mercury and Gemini in the 7th house, I can solve this issue I'm having between me and another person. It's just easy. It just makes so much more sense now. Yeah. So that's very nice. So, Sagittarius, we'll go to the cards now. We're waiting on 4 cards, so I'll choose them if you don't mind. So let me choose some cards here. Yeah. 3 more. Where's the chorus when you need them? We need some background music here while I'm choosing the cards. We don't want to sing. We're waiting on the cards. Okay. The Lovers, very nice, very Gemini style energy, and the Sun does go into Gemini on May 21st, so it's all kicking off. Now one more card, well this one kind of pushed itself out. Okay, so finally let's go to the cards, to the overview, ta-da! So we begin here with the energy of you moving towards this, you're moving towards the devil, moving towards working out some of these deeper psychological issues. Saturn and Pluto, South Node in Capricorn, in your 2nd house. So some of you are actively, right from the start of the month, looking at these fears straight in the face, and you are brave, so I've no doubt you'd do that, and say, what is going on here with my financial situation? I need to sort this out once and for all. I need to clean it up. I need to make sense of it. I need to understand my behavior and attitude towards money so that I can slay this demon once and for all. You see, he's not going unarmed. He's going on his boat, but he's armed with 6 swords. 6 swords, of course, you would be going with all the 6s to this guy. But he's saying, I will finish these fears off around my money once and for all. I will make sense of it. But I'll also make sense of my own attitudes and behaviours, my own standards. Have my standards been very low? I need to face this. I need to look at this because I'm making great progress. I've been focusing on my work. I've been focusing on my money. And I'm beginning to see that the penny has dropped here, that it's my attitude towards some of the work and money things that I have going on that needs to change. I'm not going to be held or restricted by not believing I can have more, by not believing I can be wealthy, by not believing I can have top brass. I can have it. And really, logically, there's nothing holding me back. Only my fears. But in true Sagittarius fashion, you don't back down from a fight, and you're ready to take your fears on this month in a logical and persistent way. 6th house is very often a very pure house, very clean, somebody who wants something to be clean. And you could be moving towards having a cleaner financial situation, like working hard to get yourself out of debt, working hard to focus on how much coin you can maybe put away in savings, working hard on figuring all these financial little tricky things out and being dispassionate about them, being saying, I'm not going to be triggered by this. Instead, I'm going to be empowered. I will slay this demon once and for all. It will not get the better of me. That's what I keep hearing. It will not get the better of me. And also, you've been working so hard, really, Sagittarius, on building up your self-esteem and your self-confidence after it took such a knock over the last couple of years. And you're doing great. And it's like you're holding your own, you're standing your ground, you're really making it happen. You're feeling more, even if I go through this world alone, I'm still confident. I can still hold up my head. I'm still feeling good. I don't feel as alone as I used to feel. I'm not afraid of being alone. I'm not afraid of friends moving on with their lives and me being left behind. I can do this. I've got this. I can move on. If everyone else is moving on with their life, so can I. But I must first slay this thing. Now, I will say this to you. I want you to show a little bit of caution here and use this wonderful practicality this month, Sagittarius, to make sure that you're not moving from the frying pan into the fire with some work decision that you could have committed to maybe in March or in, or in April. Make sure that, if you're being asked to sign a contract for a new job, to work with somebody who is a bit of a pain in the ass, a bit of a boss, a bit of a tyrant, a bit of a narcissist, big overblown ego, just a person that is going to be hard freaking work. It's going to be a job to do the work in itself, but it's also going to be another job to deal with this person. I would really strongly I would strongly ask you to reconsider a change that is a downward change. I don't know why it's the feeling of don't jump in your work space from the frying pan into the fire. You still have time to reconsider this and back away from a work offer or a contract offer that you know you're not going to be happy with it. There's no need. Now in this karmic period, it's karmic for the last while and it's going to stay like that. It's just time to let go of doing work because it pays the bills, doing work because the money is good. it's got to be time now where you're really doing the kind of work that is deep for you. It interests you deeply. You're passionate about it. You can be left alone and really get stuck in, discover more about it. It's interesting. You can dive right in. It's something long range for you. It's not a transient thing. What I really feel for you, Sagittarius, is that the work for you has to involve a great deep communication between your soul and the work that you're doing. You've got to love what you're doing. Forget about the coin, because it seems you'll get karmically slapped every time you choose work for the money. Choose a passionate thing that every time you're doing it, it just deepens you more and more, and every time you think you know it, you just have to keep going deeper and deeper to learn more. You adore when there are things to uncover, things to learn, things to understand. When something is presented to you that you go, this is forcing me to ask more questions and build my curiosity even further. That's where you ought to be. So I'm getting very strong vibes about that. Don't keep choosing work that pays the bills. Be brave, get your law of attraction going on here, and get stuck into believing in yourself again, believing that the work you do could almost for you be a vocation, a dedication, a life's work, doing something that you're naturally skilled at, that you have a talent at. Taurus season talks about our natural talents. And I said this to Capricorn also, I think, in the VIMEO readings, the deep read. There are no accidents here. You are given the skills and the talents you're given because the universe is economical. It doesn't waste anything. There's no accident with what you've been given naturally. It is a perfect program of cosmic perfection, your talents and skills. So ignoring them is pointless. Open it up. And you're saying, well, I don't know what my natural skills and talents are. Use the Mars and Gemini energy in the 7th house to allow the chorus, your friends, definitely your friends, other people, ask them and say, what am I good at? And let the chorus speak. Now that's very interesting, very similar to Capricorn, also got that vibe. So maybe you, and if you have a friend Capricorn, the two of you can sit down and say, okay, chorus, sing us the tunes. What are our natural talents and how do we explore them? And you see, it doesn't matter how ridiculous your natural talent is. I guarantee you that if you explore it, there is a way to make money from it. In fact, money will come easy for you once you do your natural gift. So that's very, very, very strong. And this is a Capricorn card. I did say you and Capricorn have some parallels going on this month energetically. And of course, I know you are side by side, so energy does tend to bleed in and out sometimes between the signs. Anyway, you're saying enough about Capricorn, come here to listen about Capricorn. Okay. So, interestingly enough, when I said to you that don't be in a rush to jump from the frying pan into the fire here, in a relationship also, but specifically with work, because if you hold out and do something better, hold out for better and put some real thought and consideration into this, I think that you might see the first glimmer of success in everything that you're doing. And I see you suddenly waking up to the idea that there is more out there. This is kind of let's say Mercury in Aries card, and Mercury for the start of the month is in Aries, in your 5th house of doing something that you're skilled and talented at, where you have fun, where you can play. So this month there does seem to be an opportunity where if you test this 6th house, testing, proving, let's put this thing to work and see if it is logically proven to be right. If you test this, a natural skill and talent this month, whatever it may be, put it out there for even a small group of people to see, and I bet you, they'll say, oh my God, you can do this and that. We think you're brilliant, we think you're wonderful. Why are you stuck in that other job? Why did you create that business when you should be doing this? So listen to the chorus, because I think that they will give you great confidence. They will prop you up. They will give you the laurel leaves of encouragement, boost your self-esteem, boost this first fleeting moment of, I can do this, me and my horse. Sagittarius, let's pretend that you're joined there like that. Sagittarius gets the first moment of, I'm much better than I thought I was, and other people are also saying the same thing. I need to really turn my back on the old way of doing things and begin to look out to new horizons and explore this natural talent. Explore it. Again, I feel, what is it I'm feeling for some of you? Your natural talent could be, we've talked about this before, it could be in fitness, body work, doing some yoga, keep fit, body work, cross-country training, motivating. You're such a great motivator, Sagittarius. You could motivate parties of people to do rock climbing or something, get the body moving. So that's a good talent that you might, I'm not saying because you're saying, oh, well, there goes my talent for, I don't know, being able to lick my elbow. I don't know. But there is something in this, in getting the body healthy, and also natural healing, natural foods, diet, cooking, and also organizing things for people. You're a great organizer. When we think of organizers, we think of the earth signs, particularly Virgo, maybe Capricorn. But Sagittarius, I have seen this myself. You are fabulous at organizing big events, large groups of people. You're very good at that. So again, I'm just trying to give you little suggestions of things that you might want to make a few coin at and might want to investigate this month. But either way, here's the thing. You're standing up and you're saying, this is the card of feeling educated, feeling like I know what I'm doing. I know that I can make money based on what I already have. Very Taurus energy of looking at what you already have and seeing how to make more of it, how to multiply it, make more of it. You started with one thing, the universe gives you more. When you stand up and say, this is what I've got going for me in my talents, in myself, in my wisdom that I've already accumulated. How do I put my confidence into this essentially to make more of it? You see, the only thing that's been missing here is your self-trust, the confidence in yourself to say, well, if the universe gave me this talent and this ability, then the universe obviously has huge confidence in me to play this out, or else it wouldn't have given it to me. So if the whole frickin' universe believes that I'm able to do this, then who am I to doubt this? I should really trust that the universe knows what it's doing when it gives me this talent. Dealing with animals too, I should have said that, that's another thing. I should trust this. I mean, I shouldn't. I'm smart enough, being Sagittarius, in touch with the cosmos. I should know that I'm totally supported by the universe. Why do I ever doubt myself? Why? That's the shit that I need to go back, travel back and dig up and say, it was you lied to me. The psychological behaviors, it was you who lied to me. It was you who told me that I couldn't be more. It was you that blinded me from the truth, that the universe gave me more. It was you telling me, oh, go out and work. You're only good enough for this. You know, your family didn't have a lot of money, therefore you don't have a lot of money. You didn't do well when you should have, therefore you're stuck in this shitty job. You wanted to travel, haha, your fault, now you're screwed. and you're saying, this is a lie, and I recognize you, I call you out, father of lies, because you've lied. Because the truth was that my abilities were always, always, always supported by the universe, because it was the universe who entrusted me with them in the first place. So that's a bit heavy, I know, but that is the vibe, that is the energy. And then look at this, the high priestess, the wise one, the intuitive one, the one who deals with the beautiful watery energy that you'll be experiencing this month, says, I get it. Good, bad, sorting things. There are divisions in this life. There are good people and there are not so good people. There are helpful people, there are not so helpful people. There are good things that I can learn from in my life, and there are things I can let go of. She sits in the middle of compassion and harsh judgment. And she says, I'm not going to go through my life like a butterfly hoping that the universe will bring sunshine and lollipops. I'm going to face facts here, that sometimes the universe demands that I kick ass in my own life. And to be really wholly in the middle and in control of my life, I have to kick ass. And I have to face certain things that have been holding me back. And being in the middle, using my intuition, this makes me a whole and integrated person. A person with integrity. What is integrity? Integrity means that you're fully integrated. That, again, it's not all looking at the bright side, but it's saying, I incorporate and integrate some of the darker things that I've been ignoring about myself, my bad habits, the repeat behavioral patterns, always getting myself into the same loop with people and situations. Being fully integrated, a person of integrity, means that I'm not going to ignore that anymore. In fact, I'm going to own it and sit in the middle of it. New moon card, new moon in Taurus in the 6th house, where good judgment is made and where you're able to put things in their right box. And kind of say, it's no judgment. I'm not judging this. I'm just acknowledging that this works for me, that doesn't work for me. Sometimes we need the darker part of ourselves to come in and bring all of those 6 swords to slay the demons. And sometimes we've got to show compassion. So it's very, very strong. And this is the energy of the victory that will come for you when you change tack, when you change direction, by allowing this new understanding take place in your life. Now, in a literal term too, some of you could be having to navigate around a tricky Piscean, Sun, Moon or Ascendant in Pisces, that you kind of feel that you can't get around to the good side of them, or you can't get them to make sense, or you can't get to pin them down, or whatever it is. There's something about a Piscean, Sun, Moon or Ascendant that you're saying, I've got to get to the root of this. I've got to understand how I approach them. Maybe it could be a Piscean that you're helping on the full moon, May 18th, through a bit of a crisis. It's like maybe you and a Piscean that you probably find difficult to be around, you might actually have a great conversation. And between the two of you, you could, heal the world and everything in it. One of those conversations where you make sense of everything. It's like a touch base, cup of coffee with a Piscean, Sun, Moon or Ascendant, and afterwards, after you've fixed and righted all the wrongs of the world, you go away again and do your own thing. Could be a deep conversation with a Pisces who also helps you to see something in a new perspective. So that's very nice. But you're totally, by the end of the month, really on it. You're really saying, I love myself too much to neglect something as important as my investment in myself. I'm going to invest in my career. I'm going to invest in expanding more. I'm going to invest in doing something that I'm passionate about so that I can watch this bloom and grow, because it's not about just immediate money. Give me the coin now. It's about stepping back and saying, take your time and let something that you love doing grow. And yeah, it'll be a sacrifice. Yeah, it will mean stepping away from something that you're comfortable in. You're doing what the crowd do. You know, everybody says, oh, you should be doing this. This is normal. This is what society has dictated. And you're saying, maybe I need to let go of that a little bit and go slowly and make a few sacrifices slowly to develop over time this talent or skill that the universe has blessed me with. I mean, it could be something that you do on the side for now. It could be something that you kind of work on practically until you get it up and running. Do your homework. Invest in it. Because ultimately, you'll realize that it's not a sacrifice to invest in this. It's actually been a huge sacrifice to your cosmic journey to not do it. That was more risky than anything else. You know? But here we have you as the great peacemaker. I'm not surprised. Mars had been in Gemini up until the May 16th. He'll stay there. And you understand, you've learned the lesson of what triggers you, other people triggering you. For those in a relationship, they might have been triggering you too, provoking you into a response. And by the end of the month, you're saying, I understand how this game is played. I kind of maybe see why they say certain things to me, but I'm not going to be provoked by it. Instead, what I have learned is how to be more compassionate. They might be severe. They might come at me with their issues, problems. Sorry, Sagittarius. Yeah, they might come at me with their problems or their anxieties or their fears, challenging me, but I can do this. I'm calm, I'm cool, I'm going to fix this. I will be the great mediator. I will solve all their problems. Yeah, towards the end of the month, you might find that lots of people will be coming to you to kind of help solve some tricky things that are going on in their lives. And you're very, very, very good at that, particularly by the end of the month. So, Sagittarius, that's the general overview, the general energy for this month. And as of course you know, the general landscape happens here. But to get to the real nitty-gritty, the real details, come to the VIMEO reading, the deep read, link down there below. As we always do, we'll open up the themes about love for those of you in a couple, the singles, what magic is in the air for love. We'll talk about money and career. We'll talk about family issues, friends, and we'll talk about anything else that comes up, and we'll go deep into it. And we do all that, of course, as I said, in the VIMEO readings. Come along, deep read, link down there below. You know what to do by now. But my beautiful, I'm going to leave it at that. And I do hope you enjoyed this month. I'm sure you will. And a bit of effort, a bit of hard work goes into it, but you'll come out shining at the end. I've no doubt about it. My beauty, I'm going to leave you with all my love and a great, great, great big kiss, mwah, from me to you. Until next month, my gorgeous. Bye.